Hello. Okay. My first question is, how many of you working remotely as a team? Okay, let me describe remote working. You have 3 to more team members in your team. They don't have any set time to work, or they don't have any set place to go, like an office or something. And you measure actually not the time of work, but you measure the getting how many things get done. So, how many of you are working remotely? Cool, good. Okay, so I'll be talking about working remotely, but first let me introduce myself. I'm the co-founder of RadMule, and we are actually a 10-person team with different, working on different topics. We are in 4 cities, 2 countries, and we are doing this for the last 2 years. This is for RadMule, but for me, I'm working remotely from a beach, not really. I'm working remotely anywhere for almost 8 years or maybe more. And I did more than 15 projects around the globe. I worked with different teams from different regions and countries and, you know, everywhere in the world except Australia, I think. I had some people that work with me from South America, also in US and everywhere. So I have a bit of experience in this, and you can see it on my hair that it's getting white. It's not easy. So let's start with what is it for and what is it not for. So I'll be talking on the perspective of a studio, not from a perspective of a publisher or something. We are more independent team. We didn't publish our game yet. We will be publishing it. But there are very critical stuff that when I talk to people, when they think about remote working or freelancer, that using some freelancers or, you know, working with other teams from other countries, first they think that it is cheap. It is not cheap. You have to pay the developer or designer or whoever you're working with the proper salary and let's say the benefits, even if they are working remotely or even if they are working in a different country which is cheaper than where you live or where you do your work. And it is not fast, definitely. It is, I can tell you, slower than working in a same room or working in a same office. And not easy. Not easy at all. So why we do it? Why RadMule does it? Why am I doing it? It's very important. I mean, it is very flexible. You can tap into anyone, not anyone, I'll explain that, but anyone that lives anywhere in the world. So this actually opens up the whole world as a new pool of talents for you. So you can select your designer for your new game that lives in South America, has a very good, you know, design aspect that you want to put into the game, and you can do it, if you can do it. You can work with the rock stars. I mean, the only reason that we can able to hire our new art director, which has like 4 games featured by Apple globally, and 2 of his games is actually in the Apple stores pre-installed to these demo machines that they have. And the only reason that we can work with him, because he doesn't he doesn't want to work in Istanbul anymore. He wants to quit his job. He doesn't want to go to office and deal with the whole, you know, chaotic world of Istanbul. So he wants to move out. And I said, yeah, we are a remote working team. Come and join us. You can work wherever you want. So that was the only reason that we can actually work with him. And what I see is, if you can make this work, you see less turnover in your company. So it is very, I don't know if it is evil as a startup, but keeping good people in the team is very hard, especially, you know, there are big companies that paying a lot of money, that paying a lot of benefits and gives a lot of other good stuff. And for us, we are small. We don't have that budget. We don't have that all the good benefits of big companies and all these things. And when you have this remote working, start working it, and when people get really started to, you know, work like this, it's really not easy for them to go back to the office every day. I mean, last year, one of our developers were in Philippines for 2 months. He was just going around and doing his tasks anywhere in the Philippines. We are fine with that, as long as we can do what we need to do and we can plan. So this is very important. As a small studio for us right now, keeping people happy and keeping the turnover rate small and work with the rock stars, work with anyone that we like to work around the world is very important. That's why we do slower. It makes harder for us and we bear all the negative stuff, but it is good to try and do it, I think. So I'll talk a bit more about the people, process, and the tools. And the people side of it, the most important part is not everyone is suitable to work remotely. I mean, this is a fact. This is something that we learned over the several years of experience. Really, not everyone is suitable to work remotely. What we do is, I will explain it more in the process part, but when we are selecting people, we keep this in mind, because this is very important. It starts from there. There's a really good talk in TED, Ricardo Semler, I think. He's a CEO from a Brazilian company. I really recommend you to watch that. He talks about also working remotely, but the culture that comes with it, and it should be there for people to work remotely. There is always a debate about salaried and freelance work. So you can use freelance people to help with your project, and then they move on to the different projects, or maybe they can stay and do more work. There is a conception of, if people are getting paid no matter what they do every month, they work less hard or they don't care that much or something like that. And if they're freelancer, they need to finish your work first, and then they can get free and get more work. There is a conception like this. I don't believe in this conception. It is more importantly than it's not everyone suitable for remote working. So keep in mind and use freelancers and salaried in a mix. We do it like that. And this makes you also not to grow too much and be more flexible as a company. Keep in mind that there are a lot of preferences that goes into everyone that works. Sometimes people want to work with their laptops, with desktop. Some of them want an office to go there, even though not all the team is there, just needs to want some set hours to work. Sometimes they work in daytime, some of them they work in nighttime. Because of the time zone differences, the team might be working in different hours. So this is the people side of it. So you need to think about this. You need to think if the person that you are getting to work with is suitable to work with, what is their preferences, and what is your team's preferences. Sometimes the people are actually good at working remotely, but maybe some of their preferences doesn't fit the team. So you need to think all these things. So the process. I'll start with selection. Selection is very important. What we do is we usually go through a trial project or a trial period with anyone that will join the team. And in that period, we don't ask them to quit their job if they're not working. So we do pay them for their work, but we don't ask them to quit, because we end up most of the time not hiring them. Because it's not easy to find someone to work really good with the team and work remotely. So we do try people with projects. They do it on the weekends, at nights, or whatever time that they can find it. And we do give them small tasks. It's not the whole project. We try to keep small chunks that they can actually do it. So we see how it fits to the team and how it fits the whole selection process. Sometimes it's good to have some handler, I call it. So if you're working alone in a city that you don't know anyone from the same team, you should have someone that you can always reach to from the team, either from the management or someone like project manager it can be, or a manager that you have in the company. So it is good to have these contact points, let's say, in the projects, or if you're a small team, you can only have one, and you can kill yourself to answer all the calls and messages. And I usually find that setting set meetings, like every week, 2 o'clock Tuesday, we will have an art meeting, it's good, because people work in different time zones, different times, and they have some other things to do, in like some errands to run and all these things. But you have to have at least, I think, one meeting set every week. Depending on your schedule, on your project, you can make this maybe every day, or maybe, you know, every 2 weeks or something, but you should have something set. And then you can, all the team can discuss all together. The communication is really, really important. If you cannot communicate, you cannot work at all. So we use different tools for communications. I'll explain that to you. And documentation for onboarding and for the tools, it is also very important. And like game design documents, I mean, it's a very boring thing to do, but you have to do it, because it's not like the people is sitting with you and you can just open it and explain it to him. Of course, you can use Skype or some other technology to do this, but it is good to have something written and stay somewhere that everybody can access, because maybe that person is gonna need it 3 o'clock in the morning and you want to sleep. So working hours and zones are very important. We had a very mixed team at one project, which one team member from Canada, one team member from Philippines, and we were in Turkey. Very hard to manage. If you want to do something like that, try to manage in the project, like QA in a different time zone, and then the development in a different time zone, so they can finish what they do and the QA can continue what they are doing actually. So if you think that you need to work with someone that you really need to work, you need to maybe set up the project in a way that it will work in different time zones. But usually, you know, 2 to 3 hours difference between it's not that bad. So the tools that we use is, it's very integrated into our process. I'll keep this slide. This is my last slide, so you can take a new photo. We use Slack. There is HipChat and Mattermost, which you can use, but it very goes hand to hand in your process, because what we have is, in Slack we have, every single project has a channel, so everyone in the project that goes into channel first. We have a general channel, which I personally try to post something, I don't know, anything, to this channel that doesn't really relate it to the work, but just to keep the communication open and, you know, everybody to post something there. And we have a working on channel. Working on channel works like this. It's not like really, you know, checking everybody, what everybody is doing, but it is, I log in, I say, okay, I'm planning to do these things today or the, you know, next several hours. So anybody can see this in that channel and say that, oh, wait, I was waiting this art asset from you, but, you know, you're working on that one. So can you please send this? So it opens up the communication a bit. So you need to always keep a channel separated, I mean, specifically for this, to see what the people are doing and then increase the communication. We use Skype, Hangouts, or GoToMeeting time to time for video calls or screen sharing, or, you know, these kind of calls. We actually use the most Skype on this. And on the management side of it, you can use anything that you want, but we use Jira. It's good to keep track of the sprints and also the tasks and everyone. So the most important part of the management side of it is, first of all, you need to let go that total working hour does not equal to total things done. It is different and separate stuff. I mean, people can come and sit here 8 hours and do nothing, or can work 2 hours and finish 3 tasks in this 2 hours. So it's completely separate. You need to think a bit of differently when you are managing a complete remote team. So what we do is we always measure. We don't even put estimations sometime into Jira, and we don't log any hours worked at all. We don't log it, because doesn't really matter. As long as if somebody says that this task will finish by Friday, we expect that task will finish by Friday. It doesn't really matter how many hours that he put in or when he put in. So that's the main concept that we go. You can use anything. I mean, in one of our projects, we are using GitHub issues only. That's it. We tried Trello, didn't work out for us. Also, Asana didn't work out. I think we are settled on Jira now. Do you know what CI is? Continuous integration. So I would recommend you to check this. You should build a complete continuous integration. You check in the code, it builds, it does the tests, it publishes to TestFlight or somewhere. So every time it's always available to all the team. If they want to test something, they can test it very fast. So I would recommend you to go and check the CI tools. You can use Unity Cloud Build, you can use Fastlane or similar tools to deploy your own. So that's it. I can take questions if you have any.
Thank you very much. That's great. There's a couple of others I'd add to that list. We're using Favro, which is the new one from Handsoft, instead of Trello. We're finding that's actually really good for agile kind of development. It's got a really nice structure from things that are planned, in progress, and complete, and it really works very nicely. What was the other one? Oh, Cloud Build. Completely changed
Cloud Build is really
development
good.
process. I mean, okay, I'm biased.
There is actually, if you don't use Cloud Build, if you want to use on your own server, this team, I don't remember the name, but you can send a message to me and I can share you build your own Cloud Build server actually with that. So
I didn't know. There's Hockey App as well, does some elements
Hockey
to
App
an extent.
is not that one. It's this the Bulgarian company. Anyway,
but it's all about creating a kind of efficient build cycle.
Yes.
And particularly when you've got different time zones, you know. It's just incredibly. We had a guy who was in Dubai who was our environment artist, and it was actually worked out really well because he would finish, I'd see it, and then I'd have enough time to get the coders to put it into the scene. So
it is. You can use the time zone in your own advantage. Let's say, as you said. I mean, if you do it like artists working in a different time zone and then the developers working in a different time zone, when the artist's done, developers can start working. It's like it becomes more efficient.
Exactly. And I think that's the key is you can be more efficient.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Did anyone have any questions actually? Oh, loads of hands. So I think you're like a millisecond faster than the guy behind you, but then there's the guy behind you. No, you were fastest by
Hi, Ulas.
literally a millisecond.
Thanks for the talk. I have a question. If you see any patterns, which people are more suitable for remote work than others, especially during the interview process on the beginning?
Yeah. I forgot to mention that.
That's very important.
It's very important. Thank you for the question. I specifically look for, if you work for a company like Microsoft, Google, or these bigger companies that has embedded remote working culture, this is a plus, because I worked for Microsoft almost 7 years, and I work completely remote all the time. I mean, I go to office like maybe once a month. This is one thing that you can check. The other thing is, if he's a successful freelancer, that's for sure that he can do remote work. Or he's an entrepreneur, old entrepreneur, or he did something and then he's doing. Of course, I'm not saying that the rest cannot do it. They can do it, but these are good indications in the very beginning to look at.
Yeah, I think particularly the entrepreneurial kind of mindset, not necessarily full blown, but
I mean, they tried something. They built a small game by themselves after hours. These kind of things actually gives a good indication.
Thanks for a good presentation. So you don't have working hours. Has it caused problems, and how have you solved them?
It does and it doesn't. So what we try to do is, if we need to work together on something, like let's say we have a big epic, or a big task that needs a couple of people that needs to work on it, we try to set some working hours for the next couple of days or a week or something. So we say, okay, let's start working this week. Let's start working 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. Let's say, So we try to encourage people to stick that. Right now we are actually all in the same time zone, so I'm so happy about that. So. But even if it's a different time zone, you can really still find a window to match, and it's communications. You just set as a team and then go ahead from there.
The key thing for us was making sure everybody, there's a channel in Slack we've set up called Daily Reports.
Yeah.
And we do effectively the agile thing, but all you have to do is say what you're doing, so what you've done, what you're doing, and what's holding you back.
Yeah, this is we use the working on channel in Slack for that.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm working on this, and then I couldn't finish that, or I'm having problems with this, so we keep that not like a working report, but it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah. And nice and simple bullets like that make it really timely. So it's not holding anyone up.
Just
done. Thank you very much. Oh, wait, unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Later I can.
I didn't see your hand up, but I also knew I had to stop there. So sorry. Maybe we can talk later.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.